Hi, and welcome to the Undrafted Hockey Fan page. We are going over the Seattle Kraken today, some of the things they did in this offseason, as well as their season preview and what I think is going to happen with them. And let's just jump right into their cap friendly page. Looking at their current cap space, they're almost $1 million, which is a good setup for the start of the season. And deadline cap projection is going to be about 4, so which is exciting for them. Good for them. That means they can actually use their cap space to actually make some moves. So hopefully we'll see them do that. Of course, they have their first round picks. So again, they can move a lot of these first round picks for players, which we didn't see a ton of trades for them. This last trade deadline, only making the trade for Jacob Megna, who they did end up having for another year, which is good for them. It only cost them a 4th round pick. So he's a guy that you can bury as well. So a couple of the transactions they end up doing, they did end up going up here. They signed Cole Lynn, Pierre Edouard Belmar, Will Borgen, Cale Fleury, as well as extending Vince Dunn to a 4-year deal. Going over here, I'm going to jump over to their line combinations as well. This is a team that, again, I think they have a pretty solid lineup throughout their. To me, they roll 4 lines. I just talked about it with St. Louis. It feels like the 4 lines they have are not strong enough. These are pretty good, average to above average players in my opinion. Jared McCann with a great pickup. Matty Beniers, phenomenal Calder series. Calder winner. Goodness gracious. Matty Beniers winning the Calder last year, so clearly he's doing very good, especially playing on that top line. Jordan Eberle, of course, as well. Jaden Swartz, Wemberg, Burakovsky signing from Colorado. Ellie Tolman in that waiver pickup from Nashville. Yanni Gord, and that was a huge player with Tampa Bay. Bjorkstrand traded from Columbus. these are some established guys here too. Brandon Tanev with that wild picture he's got all the time cracks me up. Kylie Yamamoto, who was just bought out, was traded from Edmonton with Klim Kostin to the Detroit Red Wings and ended up being bought out. So he was bought out by Detroit and then signed with his hometown team, the Seattle Kraken, and Pierre Edouard Belmar. I forget who he played with last year, but it's just more of a depth, older player, veteran player for them. So that was, again, I think it's a pretty good forward group. I'm pretty happy with them. I think that's a good place. They did have a big missing spot with Daniel Sprong, who had a phenomenal year last year. I think he had almost 50 points. Playing like 3rd, 4th line minutes, so they're definitely going to miss that depth scoring there, but I think they got a lot of security in that bottom end. So Vince Dunn having a monster year. We'll go over some of the stats in just a minute. Actually, let's go over the forward stats since we just went over the forwards. Again, there are some good players here that had some good depth points. This is again, if you go back to my St. Louis Blues video, we jumped right into it. And you can also see this based on the time the guys are playing. If you're seeing 20, 22 minutes, these guys are more heavily played. If you're looking over here, their first line is only playing 16 to 17 minutes. That's wild. Look, you can see it's pretty consistent throughout the lineup. You have a 16-minute by Kylie Yamamoto. Of course, he played on Edmonton at the time. 15, 17, 14. These guys aren't being. This is an example of a team that rolls out 4 lines, right? They're consistently putting out guys that are going to be. You're changing lines all the time because you just need to keep that flowing, and everyone gets that opportunity to produce. So, and of course, ones that produce the most. Here's these first line guys. Again, Matty Beniers have a phenomenal 57 and 80-point season. Jared McCann, great pickup by them. I'm bummed that Toronto didn't actually ended up keeping them. The expansion, Eberle's also doing really well. Burakovsky doing all right at 0.8 points. Injury, of course, the 49 games there, needs to stay healthy. Wenberg probably could reduce a little bit more. Same with Jaden Schwartz. But again, putting up the 40 points, right? That's nothing to scoff at, right? And they definitely came into the playoffs as underdogs against the Colorado Avalanche. But again, these guys are really putting up points. Shane Wright really is going to start to. I don't think he's going to be on the 4th line. I think what you end up doing is you end up moving Yanni Gord down to the 4th line and bring Shane Wright because you need him to play. You're not trying to play a 4th line killing. Usually, what the 4th line is, it's your shutdown line typically. Shane Wright's not going to be that, in my opinion, not that role. It's not going to be good enough for him. I think he needs to play up a little higher in the lineup just to give him that dynamic, get a little more skill, a little more eliteness, and refine his game, in my opinion. But if you don't think that about Shane Wright, let me know, because that's how I would develop the prospects. You want your top guys to play with your top guys. Now, does he need to go to the first line immediately? No, but you need him to develop slow. You need to develop slowly. What we saw with the Red Wings is they put Raymond on that top line. He put almost up 50 points. I think he put up 50 points in his first season. So, and you same with Sider, right? He played top pairing, 50 points, right? So that's when you develop high playing guys, especially you got a guy like Shane Wright, who was projected to go first overall in the 2022 draft, and him dropping down to fourth. This is someone you need to give him a lot of ice time, give him a lot of chance and opportunity to really prove himself. Again, only playing 8 games the past year, so we'll see if he's 6 in the AHL, if he's going to be coming up. So, but again, I like this. I'm looking at this fourth line of Eeli Tolvanen, getting 18 goals. Like if Bjork's getting 20 goals, 45. I mean, this is a great point total for a third line. You definitely want that. Maybe a little pricier, but these are a little bit older guys, so they want to make a little bit more money. But that's a good point totals for a third line. That's good on Seattle. Good on, I think it's Ron Francis. Yeah, good on Ron Francis for picking up those guys. So now jumping over to the defense. Again, Vince Dunn just signing that 4-year deal. I think it was around $7 million-ish. Great pickup. Good pickup from St. Louis in the expansion. Adam Larson, of course, signing that. Alexiak, I like Alexiak. Will Borgen just getting signed there. Dumoulin's a good pickup from the offseason. And Justin Schultz, definitely a good producer. Again, St. Louis guy, look at that. Wild, huh? So, moving down to the point totals, you can see here. Look at 64 points in 81 games that have been done. This is why he gets paid the big bucks, $7.35 million. I really like that. Adam Larson's a little more of a shutdown. Not shutdown, but I would say he definitely has more of a supportive role when it comes to that position, because you have Vince Dunn who's going to be going up there and taking the puck up and really making those plays, and Adam Larson can be more of a hangback, stay-at-home defenseman. So I'm all about that. Really like that. Again, a similar ice time. I mean, of course, your top pairing is going to be playing on the penalty kill and the power play. Look, it's still sitting around almost 20 minutes here, almost 20 minutes here. Justin Schultz, again, a little older, 33, probably going to slow down a little bit. Will Borgen, again, just signed, so I will have to see how those adjust. But you definitely want to keep those ice times pretty close. But this is not surprising with these two guys, probably, Larson playing on the penalty kill and Dunn playing on the power play. Again, I'm not familiar with their scheme, but that's based on what I'm looking at just right here. That's exactly what I would be doing with this team. So, again, I like Jim. I'm a big fan of Jimmy Alexiak when he was on Dallas. So, but these are okay numbers. I mean, again, we'd like some more defense and don't typically get high numbers. I mean, Erik Karlsson is an outlier, but he plays 0 defense, so that'd be why. But again, we got a good plus or minus. It's the only one that Brian Dumoulin, who's a new to the team, at the -4. We like to see that bump up to a positive, of course. I think that they are a wild card playoff team. They definitely came in as underdog against the Colorado Avalanche, but I like what they've done. I like what they have. They didn't do much, right? They didn't bring in too many big players. They didn't bring any big names. They're definitely building it from the ground up, and I'm okay with that. And the fact they were able to hit the playoffs in their second year, that's great. It means they picked the right people in the expansion draft, so they can hit the ground running and build a good team around there. So, going over the 2 goalies, Philip Grubauer and Joey Decord. We definitely want, and Jones, by the way, Jones did leave in free agency. He was one of the bigger players, big goalies. One of the goalies for the Seattle Kraken. The problem is they're not getting crap for goaltending. So you can see right here, Drieger playing 39 games, and .895 below 900. You need better. They need better goaltending. So hopefully he can bounce back. Joey Decord only playing a couple of games, 5 games, still only at 900 save percentage. Again, you need better goaltending from these guys. So hopefully we can see them bounce back with those. They just need it. They just need better goaltending. It's plain and simple. In my opinion, I think they would have done even better in the playoffs. But again, they're a newer team. They're a newer group together. This is only their second time being together. So again, if you can create that culture of winning and excitement around this team, I think they're going to do very well. And again, your scratches, you got Pierre Peb. Pierre-Edouard Belmar, Jacob Magna. Again, I'm jealous that they got to keep him. I really liked him on the Sharks. And Drager, hopefully maybe he can end up playing really well. I mean, if he's a scratch, he's a $3.5 million scratch. You definitely don't want that. So hopefully he takes Joey Decore's job. But we will see. We will definitely see. So let me know what your thoughts are on the Seattle Kraken, because they had an interesting year. I thought they played well against Colorado. I think Colorado was so injury ridden. If they didn't have so many injuries, I think that Colorado would have smoked the Seattle Kraken. My bracket got screwed this year when I did the playoffs. But I think the Seattle Kraken are underrated. I'm excited to see what they do. I want to see more moves by them. I want to see some bigger moves. I'm glad that they kept Vince Dunn. They got some of these guys that are really good prospects coming up. Again, Matty Beniers, and again, hopefully we see a step forward with Shane Wright. And I just want to see more progress. I want to see more depth scoring. I'd like to see that, right? Or depth defense scoring, a little more depth scoring as well, of course. But a couple of good signings. The Dumoulin signings, a lot of people like that as well. But yeah, I think I'd like to see them either have some of their younger guys come up developed. I don't know if there's that much space at this point anymore, but hopefully we can see them take a step forward. Again, I don't see them as like a full-blown guaranteed playoff team. It's possible, right? But I don't know if I see it them popping out that easily, right? So, but we'll see. Let me know what your thoughts are. Hit like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know how I'm wrong. If you're a Seattle fan, definitely say hi. I want to talk more about them. Seattle Kraken is my wife's second or third favorite team. She's got Red Wings. I think it's Seattle and Vegas. They probably flop Seattle and Vegas. So I definitely want to learn more about them and keep you guys updated. So let me know so I can keep you informed as well. So anyways, love you guys. Night. Bye.